Good evening and welcome to Tribune Sports Live. He's Alan Taylor. I'm Zach Steele. Pinson Valley gets a huge victory over McAdory last Friday night. Hewitt and Clay are off, and we're going to be reviewing some of the middle school teams in the area. Also, a couple special guests stop by. We'll be back, and we're going to talk about Pinson Valley and their big victory over McAdory.
At Bryant Bank, we focus on you. You'll never have to worry about being just another number in the system. When you're a member of the Bryant Bank family, our Bryant Bankers will work to understand who you are, where you want to go, and how we can help you to get there. We're big believers in developing relationships with our customers, and we value friendships we make along the way. Bryant Bank provides unbeatable service and legendary results. Bryant Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Obviously, you're lining up there for a 20-yard attempt. Just what's going through your mind?
I got this. I'm confident I'm going to make it. I kicked that, and I made it. I'm excited right now.
When you saw it go through the uprights, man, you saw your teammates running out on the field.
I was happy.
We kept preaching to them all week long, hey, we're still a good football team. We played two really good football teams, and, I thought by playing those guys and taking a lump, they were a little embarrassed with their play, so we did a good job, and I can't be more pleased with my coaching staff and my players. So.
Jay, you were big in coverage all night, man. You're matched up against Askew and number 8
Willie.
For them. How tough was it covering those guys?
They're great athletes. I just had to be on my game tonight. They big time recruits. I'm a big time recruit, so big time players make big time plays.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, and in a game no one expected, Alan, Pinson Valley goes on the road to a place where no one ever wins on the road. They go into McAdory's house and beat McAdory 24-21 in overtime. Just an amazing victory for them.
Well, it was, and to go to McAdory, for anybody to go to McAdory and win a game is incredible. Since Coach Powell's been there in 2005, they were 60-7 coming into and now 60-8. So they play well at home. This is a good team, ranked number 4 in the state prior to this game, and so a great win by Pinson Valley.
Pinson's defense been kind of run over the last couple of weeks by Gardendale and Clay-Chalkville. They showed up Friday night. They shut down the Yellow Jackets, shut them out in the second half. How about that?
Well, they really played good the whole game. They played good in the first half. The Pinson Valley got up, and then they had the Hail Mary right before half, actually the last play of the half, to go up 21-14, and then Pinson Valley just shut them down in the second half and also in overtime.
Pinson Valley's front four really controlled the line of scrimmage the whole game. They all deserve a game ball. Jackie Matthews, a fantastic night throwing the football. 19 for 31, 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. How about that Pinson offense?
Well, and it really gelled Friday night. They struggled a little bit against Clay-Chalkville, but Jackie Matthews, a sophomore, came out, threw the ball well. They ran the ball well, had some receivers that just really made some great plays, and so just another solid performance by Jackie Matthews.
So South Alabama commit Jay Woods, also a very nice game for him in playing coverage defense against a couple of really good blue chip prospects for McAdory. He also moonlighted on offense a little bit in this game.
He did. I think it was his first time to play on offense. A good defensive player, and I think he wanted to prove something this week. He just, going against a couple of blue chippers, and he just wanted to show them he could play with them, and so he had a great game.
Pinson Valley hosts Huffman this week. Now, they're through that rough part of the schedule. They've gotten through Gardendale. They've gotten through Clay-Chalkville. They beat McAdory on the road that nobody expected. Now their schedule gets a little bit easier with Huffman this week.
It does, but don't go to sleep on Huffman. They have a lot of athletes, and after a big win like that, the coach's biggest challenge is going to be to get these guys back out to practice this week, get them pumped up, and let them know that if they don't go and play their game against Huffman, they could lose that game, and you'd hate after a great victory like they had this past Friday night to come back and lose one to Huffman. That could happen if they don't get out there and work and play their game.
And Alan's going to have an interview with Coach Glover a little bit later in the show, so stick around and check that out. When we come back, Coach Hines from Hewitt-Trussville Middle School stops by to talk about his program.
Trussville Vision Care is now proud to offer sports vision training for athletes. This sports-specific training improves hand-eye coordination and reaction time. As a former college athlete, Dr. Steele knows how important perfect vision is to succeed on the athletic field. For athletes, 20/20 vision is not enough. Trustful Vision Care.
Tribune Sports Live!
I thought we got playing with good effort. We're just hadn't executed real well. We've had some penalties that have put us in bad down and distance. There's some things we need to do better. We got to clean up, particularly not just on offense, but we gave up a big play on defense.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're here with Hewitt-Trussville Middle School coach Brian Hines. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Coach, you're 4-1 overall. Tell us a little bit about your season so far.
You're exactly right. 4-1. We lost our first game to Thompson, but we've rolled off 4 straight. 3-0 in the region play on our side of the bracket. Just coming off a win over Homewood. So we're hopefully progressing and doing the things that we need to do to get better.
Well, you're modest when you say a win over Homewood. You beat these guys 30-6. That's a pretty big victory for you. Tell us a little bit about that ball game last week.
Well, Homewood's got some really good players. They lost their starting quarterback during the game, which was kind of tough on them. But I think we scored on 3 of our first 4 possessions, had about 200 and some yards at the half. And really the best thing about it, we got to play a lot of players. A lot of guys got in the game. Hopefully they got some of their first taste of middle school football. And like I said, we got to get better. There's things that we left on the table that from the coach's perspective, I'm always looking for perfection.
Yeah, absolutely. Most coaches do. You're 3-0 in the region, as you mentioned. And what do you have going forward now?
Well, we got Bragg Middle, which feeds Gardendale, and then we would end the season with Pizzets. So the next 2 games are on the road, so we need our fans to travel with us.
And so there is a playoff in middle school football in the Birmingham area, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you guys are hopefully going to win your region and get to the playoffs and go all the way and maybe see Thompson again, right?
Or bump us. You don't want to look ahead, but there's some really good teams. We joke it's sort of the middle school SEC West of football, but they're really quality programs in the area, and we're just blessed to be where we are.
So tell me a little bit about the system you run. It's the same thing as Coach Floyd's system over at the high school, correct?
Yes, sir. When Coach Floyd came in, he wanted to take the middle school programs and establish the systems that they'll have one day. Terminology, alignments, how to block, how to tackle, doing the things so that as kids progress through the system, when they get to be freshmen, you don't have to start all over. And obviously they build on it, and the system's a little more complicated, but we put the basics in, and we pride ourselves on teaching our kids to do things the right way. And like I said, hopefully Coach Floyd and his staff will have a quality product when they get to it.
Well, I think it's great to have a foundation that you guys are setting. So, Coach, we appreciate you being here, and good luck the rest of the season. Well,
I want to say thank you for having us here, and I just want to say a quick plug to the staff at the middle school. They do a great job. I'm just one small part of it. We've got great coaches and certainly great fans and parents, and we just appreciate you giving Hewitt-Trussville Middle School the recognition they deserve.
Hey, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the region standings for all the teams in our area, and we'll have some predictions, and Alan's going to have an interview with Coach Matt Glover of Pinson Valley. We'll be back.
Tribune Sports Live is sponsored in part by State Senator Slade Blackwell of District 15. Senator Blackwell represents parts of Talladega, Shelby, and Jefferson counties, including the Trussville area. A former high school and college athlete, Senator Blackwell is pleased to promote our local schools and student athletes. As football season gets underway, it's time to say, go Huskies, go Cougars, and go Indians. Here's to a successful and safe year for all who are involved with high school athletics in our area.
Pinson loves Tribune Sports Live!
Welcome back. We have Pinson Valley head coach Matt Glover. Coach, welcome tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad you're here. Big win this week over McAdory, 24-21 overtime victory. Tell us a little bit about the game.
You know, it was a game that we desperately needed after the last 2 weeks. You know, we kind of took two on the chin the last 2 weeks. So kids are excited, coaches were excited. Now, you know, it's just the big job of us as coaches. We got to get them back level-headed and know, hey, we got another game to play this week.
Right.
So that one's over.
Right. In the preseason, we talked about this stretch in the Pinson Valley schedule: Gardendale, Clay-Chalkville, McAdory. That's an SEC type stretch. How difficult was it getting you guys to get back up after Clay-Chalkville, after that loss last week, getting them back up to face a very, very good McAdory team?
You know, I think the good thing about it was the game was being broadcast live on TV. So I pushed at them that, hey, fellas, everybody in the state is going to be able to sit at home and watch you play. So now, you know, how are you going to look? Are we going to look like we did last week and be the laughing stock of the state, or are you going to step up, you know, and play like we need to play and we're capable of playing? So I think that helped us out a lot. And plus playing at McAdory, you know, kids got up for it. They enjoy it. They know a lot of their guys, you know. So I think they just play with enthusiasm and had fun. McAdory,
a tough place to play, ranked number 4 in the state coming into this game. I think Coach Powell, 60-8 at home. It's a tough environment to take your team into, especially coming off of a loss.
Right. We played there 2 years ago in a playoff game, second-round playoff game, so our kids have kind of got a little familiarity with it and how it is. You know, they do a great job of atmosphere on game days with the music playing and coming out in all-black uniforms, you know. So, like I said, I was pleased to go on the road and get a win.
Well, you preached all week. We heard you talking about let's get them to the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. If we can get them to the fourth quarter, we have a chance. One of those reasons is because they've beat people so badly. They haven't played their starters deep into a game, so that came true.
Yeah, you know, it was one of those deals. Not saying that we're better shape than they are. I just think it's game conditioning. You know, it's a big deal when we played 4 games with our kids have been going the whole game, and they, to be honest with you, at halftime their games have been over with all their games, and so their kids haven't been able to play. So I think that was a big thing that helped us out a lot. You know, having that game experience all 4 quarters.
Well, it was an interesting game, a little bit of a roller coaster game. They got up early, and then y'all fought back in the first half, took the lead, looked like you were going to maybe carry or at least be tied going into halftime, and then they throw the Hail Mary with really no time remaining. What do you tell your kids at halftime after they fought so hard at a tough place to play, and then that happened?
I try to use every experience, especially negative experience, coaching, you know, way to teach kids coaching-wise, whether it be life, coach experiences, or on the field. You know, I told him, hey, the big thing with our DB, he was a young kid, you know, I told him, that's the first thing you got to know is next time that happens, tackling in the end zone. I said, it's a 15-yard penalty. And, you know, in high school football, it's 15 yards, they get to play it again. In college, they put the ball on the 1, you know. I said, so next time it happens, just tackle him, you know. And then I told him, hey, fellas, you know, forget about it. You know, it's 21-14 now. We got a whole second half to play, you know. And they were down, you know, they could tell they were a little dejected. We tried to keep them, you know, positive and say, hey, get them in the fourth quarter, keep, you know, and stay positive and not a lot of hollering and screaming, just, hey, it's a mistake, we made it, let's move on, let's move forward.
Right. Jackie Matthews, your sophomore quarterback, had another good night, 19-31, 224 yards passing, 2 scores. Mm-hmm. He continues to play solid.
Yeah, he throws the ball well. He's starting, once he finally figures out, and he's starting to learn it, figure out the defenses and what the secondary is trying to do. You know, he spins it really well and throws the ball. It comes out. Receivers did a really good job catching the ball Friday night. Arias Collins, I think, had probably his best night of the year. Real pleased with that. You know, that player. You know, last year the McAdory game didn't end up like he wanted to for the rest of the season, but he's came a long way and, you know, matured a lot, and really pleased with how he's contributed to our football team.
Well, you got to be proud of your defense too. Pitched a shutout the second half. Almost impossible to do over there. Gregory, Jemison, Lawrence, Scott, all of those guys just really played well to shut out McAdory the second half.
Yeah, D-front, you know, they did, all the guys you just mentioned, all our D-linemen, they did a really good job getting pressure on the quarterback. I think second half, we ended up like 4 sacks. First half, we kind of let him get out and, you know, do a little freelancing back there and miss some tackles, but we did a better job second half of getting people the ball and making tackles. So.
Right. Well, and then, of course, this win, a region win, kind of, not that Pinson Valley was ever out of the playoffs, but it really kind of helps your playoff situation after the 2 losses. Huffman's up next. Don't get any easier. Huffman's a good, talented team.
Right. You know, and our kids, one thing about playing Huffman, their kids know our kids know their kids. So they'll come in our place all excited, ready to play. Very athletic team. You know, Coach Wilson does a great job with those guys getting ready. Their record don't indicate, I don't think, how good they are or the possibilities. You know, that's what I'm going to preach to our kids. You know, McAdory probably looked at us just getting beat by 55 the week before. Hey, they're not very good. So, you know, you can't, look at records and who they played. You just got to show up every Friday night ready to play.
Well, thank you for being here with us tonight. A great win over number 4 McAdory. Good luck next week against Huffman. We'll be right back after this message.
Gunnar Roy would like to invite you to visit one of their 3 stores on Deerfoot Parkway. Both Shell locations on Deerfoot offer delicious Hunt Brothers pizza, one at Highway 11 and the other at Old Springville Road, which was a BP and now has a fabulous new look customers need to see to believe. The Chevron at Happy Hollow Road features mouth-watering pop donuts that are delivered fresh each and every morning. A proud supporter of the community for more than 20 years, offering quality products at a fair price in a clean environment with friendly and efficient service, Gunnar Oil.
Between us and Bragg, you know, I think we're the top 2 in the area. So it's tough losing this one, but our goal is still in hand. We still got to go do our job and win the next 2 games, and then who knows what happens after that. But we still have to win our next 2 games, and we still got to push towards that, towards our goals. So
I give it to them. They came out, they did good. They defense, they did perfect. Offense, just great. I mean, they're a good team. We're a good team. They won.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, KJ. Appreciate it, man.
Welcome back. The Clay-Chalkville Middle School Cougars went up to Gardendale last week, and they had a tough one, a tough loss to Bragg Middle School, 14-7. Allen, the Cougars were dominated much of this game, but in the fourth quarter they rallied.
They really did. You know, they got down quick. Bragg scored on the first 2 drives, went up 14-0. And then the rest of the night, the Cougars gave up some yardage, but they didn't give up any more scores. They played well on defense after those first 2 drives.
Clay was driving late with a chance to tie the game, had a late sack, really put the game away for Bragg, but Cougars got nothing to hang their head about.
No, they don't. You know, they're 2-3 on the year. I think they're 2-1 in the region. They had a chance to send this game to overtime. Early on, the defense played good, but they just couldn't get off the field. In that first 2 drives when Bragg scored 14 points, 2 times they went for it on 4th down and made it. So in those drives, if Clay could have just gotten off the field, this might have been a different outcome. They came back, they shut them out after that, was down 14-7 and had an opportunity at the end to send this thing to overtime and just fell a little short.
All right, so next week the Cougars take on Pizitz Middle School. Very important ball game again for them.
Again, in this region, we're the time of the year where they all count, and so I look for maybe them to come back next week, correct some of these things on offense and defense, and play Pizitz real well.
All right. When we come back, we're going to have the Players of the Week, and maybe just Player of the Week this week with Pinson Valley. We'll also have our predictions, and we're going to talk a little bit about the region standings as well. We'll be back.
Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home and Gardens is home-owned and operated by the Seal family. I've known Eddie Seal and his son Adam for over 25 years. They're community-oriented and, more importantly, good folks who know how to take care of people in their time of need. That's how Jefferson Memorial became Trustful's funeral home and cemetery. Jefferson Memorial is located at 1591 Gadsden Highway. You can call them at 322-0543. Before your need arises, let Jefferson Memorial family take care of your family.
Well, right now everything looks good for Friday night's weather. Friday will be clear and cool with highs in the mid-70s and lows in the mid-50s, so it looks like a great night for high school football.
And now it's time for Tribune Sports Live Players of the Week, brought to you by Gunter Oil. With you at Trustful and Clay-Chalkville being on a bye week both last Friday, we've no alternative but to give the Players of the Week award to 2 of Pinson's finest. First is Jay Wood. Jay led an impressive fight throughout the night, surprising not only McAdory's defense, but their offense as well. And when it was time to step up, he did just that. Our next player of the week is Sol Rios. Sol ended up being the man with the magic leg, and boy did he work his magic with the winning kick in overtime that propelled Pinson to a 24-21 victory in overtime over McAdory. Congratulations to you both. This has been Tribune Sports Live Players of the Week, brought to you by Gunter Oil. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or you're trying to sell the one you're in now and need advice from a realtor, turn to Lee Marlowe, Realty South Realtor. Contact Lee today at 205-913-9559 or visit Lee at leemarlowehomes.com.
Paul Davis Emergency Services of Northeast Birmingham helps by providing needed cleanup and restoration services. Through the appropriate tools and processes, we avoid wasting valuable time to get your property to its previous state as quickly as we possibly can. Through our experience with restoration services in Birmingham, we can determine the necessary services depending on your property and type of damage, which may include smoke and fire damage restoration, water damage restoration, wind damage restoration, and mold removal. Paul Davis, Recover, Reconstruct, Restore. 205-687-0556.
Welcome back. We're going to have predictions in just a second. Alan, we're going to talk. Let's first talk about the Hewitt Huskies. A much-needed break, much-needed week off before they travel to Oak Mountain this week. Your thoughts on this game?
Well, I talked to Coach Floyd, and they did need the week off. It gives them a chance to kind of regroup, get some people well. A big game this week. It's a region game. Oak Mountain, it's there. Tough battle last year. Oak Mountain has struggled a little bit, even though they came off a big win at Briarwood this past Friday night, 35-0. So they're going to be ready. It's a big game for Oak Mountain in that they've already have two conference or region losses, and 1 and 2 in the region. And so, a third loss in the region is going to really set you back.
Well, you're looking at having to win out, basically, and they've still got some tough teams on the schedule left for them. They've got Mountain Brook, Thompson, and Spain Park. So this may be, they may be thinking this is their Waterloo.
They really might. And for the Huskies, it's also a big game. Huskies 2-1 in the region, and they need to keep it going. We talked about now the Huskies are thinking about how can we win and how can we get that home field advantage for a playoff game. So they're all big from here on out. They're all region games and they're big, and so I just think the Huskies are going to be ready Friday night.
All right, give us a score. Your prediction.
Well, I think the Huskies week off is going to help them. They're going to be rested. They're going to be hungry. Maybe even a little bit of revenge from last year. I picked the Huskies to win this one 38-14.
Well, I'm with you. I think the Husky defense is going to come into this game with a chip on their shoulder because if you remember last year, they couldn't get off the field against Oak Mountain. They were running that veer option. They could not get off the field. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They're going to make a statement in this game. I like the Huskies big in this one, 42-14. All right, Clay-Chalkville. Another week off for them. We talked a little bit about last week. Did they really want this week off since they are rolling right now? They get Center Point in a region game. And let's look down the schedule just a little bit. I know Coach Hood wouldn't want us to do this, but we're going to do it anyway. Down the schedule, after this week against Center Point, they get Shades Valley at home, then they're at Woodlawn, and then a big home game against Gardendale. Any chance they trip up in any of those ball games?
Well, I mean, Shades Valley, as always, they got talent. They could there. They probably won't this week trip up. The big game that's coming up is Gardendale. We've seen Gardendale play this year. Gardendale's got a good team, and so Coach Hood wouldn't want us to look too far down the road, but I think that Gardendale game and with Clay-Chalkville's looming big.
Yeah, mark that one down. So this Friday night, they are on the road at Center Point. It seems like we always say Clay's on the road. How do you see this one shaping?
Well, Center Point's my alma mater, so they're my heart favorite, even though I'm a Jerry Hood fan. But I think Clay-Chalkville continues to roll. I picked them to win 42-10 this week.
I like Clay big in this one again. I'm going to score it in the 50s. I like Clay 52-7. All right, one more. We've talked about Pinson a little bit. They got a huge win. We talked about their schedule kind of eases up a little bit, but they got to look out for the letdown, like you said, against Huffman. Tell me how you think that one shapes up.
Well, we just talked to Coach Matt Glover, and that's a concern of his that, you know, after a big win like they had at McAdory, getting this team back refocused this week. He's a good coach. I think he'll do it. I think Pinson will take care of business at Huffman 31-7.
I like this. I like Pinson too. I think it's going to be a little closer. I think they may be due for a letdown. That's a big emotional victory. I like Pinson. Their defense hangs on 24-7. All right, that's our show. Hopefully we'll be back next week and we'll be 3-0 with 3 victories from our local teams. For Alan Taylor, I'm Zach Steele. Good night, everybody.